Hi guys, welcome back to week 8. We're cruising through this stuff. So, week 8, we're going to be looking at 5.3 again, and we're going to be looking at definition of reference angles. So let theta be an angle in standard position. Its reference angle is the acute angle, theta prime, formed by the terminal side of theta and the horizontal axis. All right. So basically what we're saying is the reference angle has to be in quadrant 1. It references it back, because that'll give us all the stuff we need. If you go to your trig fact sheet and take a look at it, I have your function values down there for sine, cosine, and tangent, but only 0, 30, 60, 45, 60, and 90. And that's because we can get all our other values by knowing if it's positive or negative, depending on what quadrant it falls in. So first things first, with a reference angle, is get it between 0 and 360. So once you get it between 0 and 360 by either adding 360 or subtracting 360, you're looking for reference angles. The reference angles reference back to quadrant 1. So if it's in quadrant 2, up here, we're going to be using this little box over and over and over and over again. I suggest you write them down. Write them down on your formula sheet. Probably the best place, write them down on a note card. It doesn't matter. If you're in school, I'd be giving you a note card for these. So for quadrant 2, we take 180 minus the angle. 180 minus the angle. That gives us our reference angle. For quadrant 3, we do the angle minus 180. And for quadrant 4, we do 360 minus the angle. Other than that, the only other quadrant it can be in is quadrant 1. And if it's already in quadrant 1, we just leave it alone because it is its reference angle. All right. How are we going to use these? Here we go. Find a reference angle for the given angles. 120. Note that the terminal side of theta lies in quadrant 2. 120 is in quadrant 2. So we take 180 minus 120 because quadrant 2, 180 minus theta, and that gives us 60. So 60 degrees is the reference angle. So with that being said, if I go look at my function values, sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Well, sine of 120 is going to be root 3 over 2. But we have to check the quadrant. Remember, we have to check and see if it's positive. All students try cheating. And we know that sine in quadrant 2 is positive, so it's going to be positive root 3 over 2. And that's how you're going to work these things. Negative 130. So we add 360 to it, and we get 230. Because you got to get back between 0 and 360 first. Negative 130 is outside of 0 to 360. So add 360, get 230. 230 is in quadrant 3. So we have 230 minus 180, which is 50 degrees. In the first part of your worksheets today, you're just going to be finding that reference angle. Just add or subtract 360 to get between 0 and 360, and then use what is up here to get them back, to find your reference angle. Then we're going to be taking them later in your other worksheet and finding out the exact values for them, and if it's positive or negative. This is where sometimes it gets confusing. So, find the 3 trigonometric functions for 330. I know 330 is in quadrant 4. So in quadrant 4, I take 360 minus 330. And I get 30 degrees as my reference angle. So 30 degrees is my reference angle. Now, I know 30 degrees, sine of 30 is 1/2. But 330 is in quadrant 4. Sine is not positive in quadrant 4. So the sine of 330 is negative 1/2. The cosine of 330, cosine of 30, is root 3 over 2. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Cosine in quadrant 4, all students try cheating. C, quadrant 4. Cosine is positive, so it stays positive. Root 3 over 2. Next one, I'm not sure what happened to it here, because maybe root 3 over 3, I believe. Tangent of 330, we look at tangent of 30. And tangent of 30 is root 3 over 3. Does not want to do threes today. Root 3 over 3. So, but tangent is not positive in quadrant 4. It's negative. So it's negative root 3 over 3. So let's go down and try a couple of these. Find a reference angle and the exact value function. So 150. 150 is outside. Well, it's within 0 to 360, so I'm good there. So I take 150, and I see 150 is in quadrant 2. So in quadrant 2, I do what? I do 180 minus the angle. 180 minus 150 gives me 30. So my reference angle is 30 degrees. All right. Go to your trig fact sheet. And what do we want to find? Find the exact function value. Oh, we want cosine. Cosine of 150 degrees. Well, we got a 30. We'll say cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. But root 3 over 2. And they come out nice. Root 3 over 2. Sorry about that. But cosine in quadrant 2, all students, only sine is positive. So cosine is negative. Remember, sine and cosecant reciprocal is also positive. Tangent 675. All right. So we take 675 minus 360. We get 315. And we look for the reference angle. The 315, that's in quadrant 4. So it's 360 minus 315, which is 45. 45 tangent is 1. So tangent of 675. It's 1, but we have to look. Quadrant. 315 is in quadrant 4. Tangent is not positive in quadrant 4. Tangent is negative, so it's negative 1. Yeah, I'll just put it up there. Makes it easier. Secant. Oh boy, a little bit harder. Now, if you wrote those things down for secant, well, first we have to get our angle. Negative 210 plus 360 is this 150. We already did a 150 over here. So we know that our reference angle is 180 minus 150, which is 30. It sure doesn't want to come out too well. $30. Again, excuse my pen. 30 degrees, reference angle, and secant. That is the reciprocal of cosine. Well, cosine is root 3 over 2. So secant is going to be 2 over root 3, multiplying both by root 3 is going to be 2 root 3 over 3. Now, just a matter if it's positive or negative. We see it's in quadrant 2, and secant is positive there because cosine is positive there. So, secant of negative 210 is 2 root 3 over 2. 2 root 3 over 2. And it's positive because it's in quadrant 2. I mean, quadrant 3 had been negative. And that is basically how you do these. So you will be finding reference angles for the first part. And then the second part, you'll be actually finding the value of what they're asking for on your worksheets. So good luck with those, guys. Tomorrow we've got review. Wednesday we've got review. And Thursday you have a test on this. So we'll have a Google Meet in there. And I think you'll be okay on this. And then we'll be all finished with this. Moving on to 5-4.